Hello, listeners. This is the Friday stream of TON. Today, we're tuning in live from a very special occasion. This is the first edition of UAE-India Startup Series, where we brought together 20 startups to come and meet the jury members today, but also chat with us before they head into the pitch sessions. And UAE-India Startup Series is powered by the UAE-India CEPA Council, and it is a great market access program with partners like Emirates NBD, Hub 71, First Abu Dhabi Bank, and many others. And this will solve a basic need for many companies where they look to expand into UAE, which is becoming an exciting geography for many of these founders to expand into. We've already seen many companies from India expand. You've heard of Sumit of CoinDCX on our show as well, Raymond of Mosaic Wellness. They both expanded. Ankush of Rebel Foods will be on the show as well, and they've all set up base in UAE. And it's an exciting region, and we cannot wait to hear why these founders are excited about the same. All right, so we have Shreyans from Finsire. What does the business do?
Awesome. So, we are a digital infrastructure for secured credit. We basically collateralize mutual funds and shares. And part of it can be done pretty much across asset classes of sorts, right? UAE seems to be a very promising market. And we believe that because of the Dubai financial market has recently sort of, gotten a centralized scheme of sorts where this particular product is going to go mainstream of sorts. The beautiful thing about Dubai and UAE as such is that most of the asset classes have three things in common, which is they are centralized, they are regulated, and they have a unique identity, which beckons me to think that almost any asset class can be sort of collateralized in our software and system, right?
And have you explored the UAE market apart from working with, partners there on ground?
Yeah, so we have obviously spoken to a lot of them, right? Like what we have done today in India is about, we cover most of the private banks, right? 70% of our customers happen to be either public or going to go public. And a similar structure of sorts happens to be in UAE, right? Like the other day I did have a chat with Emirates NBD and the Abu Dhabi First Bank of sorts. And, it's like-to-like comparison when you think of it.
So they have like a good digital public infrastructure for tech goods, basically.
They do. The beautiful part about UAE is that almost any asset class. Today in India, we talk about mutual funds and shares, which potentially can be collateralized. But UAE, you're talking about real estate, you're talking about, non-fungible tokens, you're talking about digital assets of sorts that can be collateralized, and credit on top of that is a byproduct. So I do think it, while the market audience is less, but almost everyone can be served, as opposed to in India, only a fraction of it, which is growing considerably, can be served.
And the credit market, is it exciting there?
It is. I would beckon to think that across geography, there would be about 5 to 6 odd large financial markets that would be the largest of this, right? Like when you see in India, you would see London, you would see New York, where I used to work as a hedge fund manager. You would see in Singapore, and of course in the UAE. So these markets are the core, and your target audience essentially should start from banks on one side or lenders on one side to the wealth players on the other, and the end users of sorts.
Globally, which is the most mature market in regards to the work you do with the most stable regulation as well?
By far the US.
Yeah.
Right? Like, US, when you just think about the US, the bond market happens to be about $52 trillion odd, right? Just the secured credit on these capital markets assets in the US is north of $1 trillion. When you think of that, and you think of India today, which is just about 75,000 odd dollars.
Within India, which other assets do you think are great candidates for this, but maybe there's no regulatory framework to support them?
Yeah, beautiful question, actually. So in India, like I said, right, there are three things that are obviously the most important. One, it has to be sort of regulated. Two, it has to have a central repository where these assets are placed. Three, it needs to have a unique identity. And when you have all these three together, you would beckon to believe that, hey, it can be digitally sort of collateralized or secured, right? So insurance, you see it's getting dematerialized. Investors such as yourself, your AIFs are getting dematerialized, right? very interesting sort of take. So when I had a chat long back, can ESOPs be done at some levels of sorts? So as long as you have an underwriter for it, who understands the capabilities or the risk of the asset class, why not, right? So I'd beckon to think almost every asset that potentially has an underlying value, to find liquidity for it, you need these three to sort of come together, and you need an underwriter who understands all of this at large scales, right? Speaking of which, I do come from a family of business folks. So I've seen back in the day, my granddad, when he used to sort of run his business, he probably collateralized almost everything, this furniture, the chair. As long as you have bankers with you, everything can be collateralized and then essentially shown as asset, and then you probably get liquidity on it.
Amazing. Thank you so much. All the best.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
All right. So now we have Akshay and Yashwant of Fitsol. What are you guys doing?
So we are a decarbonization as a service platform. We work with manufacturing companies to help account their carbon emissions across the value chain, from their premises to their suppliers, auto component manufacturers, and downstream. And our proprietary AI tool just not does accounting and reporting as per compliance standards, but it also identifies emission hotspots, right? Like where like this a lot of emissions happening, and gives an alternative recommendations. Fitsol's mode is that we just don't give recommendations, we also work with them and implement sustainable alternatives like sustainable logistics, sustainable packaging, circularity. These are the major pillars which we are working with, and there are other R&D work pillars which we are also working. So we're true to the cause decarbonization as a service to make it easier for people to understand. Say it's like a fitness journey.
Right. So, for example, health, right? So, if we want to be healthy, we would first want to understand our parameters, our CBC, blood reports, and whatnot. Then, once we have the reports, we'll go to a doctor who would suggest recommendations and so on. And then they will say, okay, you need to control your diet or you need to exercise and so on. So, and then you will go to a dietitian or a gym or a yoga instructor or someone, right, where you will actually implement those recommendations and get healthier, right? So, similar, analogy for manufacturing, where we will take in the data, understand where the emissions are coming from, and then help you, understand where you should focus, and then help you reduce it as well. So it's like a full step.
All factories produce standardized data for you to analyze, or
That is the challenge, right? So that is what we are trying to solve through AI, and AI is really helping us to do that at scale. These data generally are stored in ERP systems, different HR systems, and different management systems across the organization, and not only within the organization. Most of this data for manufacturing specifically comes from their suppliers, right, which is not in their control, right? And these suppliers might not be technologically enabled. So getting data in Excel or PDFs or invoices, multimodal data comes to us, we churn it, and then we standardize it at our end.
Do you ever verify the data that comes to you?
Absolutely. So we look at the data and we accept all the proofs, like how an auditor will look at. We are not auditors, we are makers of the data. So we will ensure that the data is coming with all the proofs and is stored in a certain way that is secure, compliant, and audit ready.
And what is the scale of the business right now?
The scale of business currently we are clocking about more than 4 crores, MRR monthly 4 crores, and we are on track to do about 7 crores by this quarter.
Insane. And why UAE?
Why UAE? So we've been reading about the entire manufacturing sector growing, and above on top of all of that, the decree law number 11, which mandates all companies in UAE to start doing carbon accounting and reporting, which is a right move in global standards also. We appreciate that, and we have also started talking to companies in UAE, and we feel that it needs a lot of ecosystem support, and Fitsol comes in as a right fit. One of the other learnings from India is also that, as Akshay mentioned, when there are also broken systems, we call this as capacity building. Apart from the major OEMs, right, when you go for 2-3 layers below, all the manufacturing companies, even in India, are not equipped enough to know about this sustainability as a concept or to know how to approach this, right? So we come with a holistic approach of first training them so that awareness today is what can be sustainable longevity can exist for the next few years, right? So we ensure that we get them skilled also on our behalf, and then that is how we implement it. And we hope the same learnings can be fruitful in UAE also.
And just to add to what Gary was saying,
picture, if I'm so sorry, but paint us a picture, like there's got to be a certain number of companies you want to go after, your addressable market. If you were able to capture all of it, paint us a picture of what the world would look like. How green would it be? How nice would it be?
so our vision is to reduce 1 billion tons of emission from global supply chains, right? Which would be roughly around 2% of global emissions, right? And it's growing, right? So as India is also trying to become a manufacturing giant in itself, right? Why UAE is also one of the reasons that nominal GDP is going to grow to almost 3 trillion dirhams by 2031, and 10% of it is going to come from manufacturing itself, right? So, and that makes us, very well positioned to, sort of come in at this moment and then create that sustainability aspect, like as Yashwant said, building capacity around it, right? So the technical know-how, systems in place, right? And we have demonstrated it. We have almost 30 customers in India right now across different manufacturing sectors, and hence we want to replicate that success over in UAE.
All right. Thank you so much.
Glad. Thanks for having us. Thank you.
We're now sitting with Muthu and Mukesh, who are building a company called Goat Robotics. They've already gone to market with an autonomous forklift that that we're told can lift anything from 100 kgs to about 3 tons. Oh, wow, guys. What got you into this?
Maybe we are basically robotics graduates by education. We are all friends together. We started this, maybe we are into robotics from 2018 or something. Like from
How old is the company now?
Goat Robotics is 2 years old. We have made a pivot from consumer robotics to manufacturing, so that we wanted to go with a powerful brand. So we feel Goat is one of the powerful brand which is able to.
And how many SKUs do you have now?
So we have 4 SKUs basically. Each of this has sub-variants like 100 kg, 250 kg, 400, and then a bigger form factor has 1.5 ton. Pallet lifter has up to 3 tons.
And help our listeners visualize what they look like.
Basically, assume that these are like a small vehicle which can travel autonomously carrying a lift, or it can go beneath the trolley and then you can lift the whole trolley from one position to another. Normally, in any industry, if you consider, there will be 3 Ds, which is dull, dirty and dangerous. So these are all like a mundane jobs every day to do, and we don't get manpowers to do this. And most of things are like very mundane and like very slow process industry.
What kind of industries are you working with? Right?
We are working with automotive, we are working with heavy engineering,
Pharmaceutical, FMG. So we are working with several segments. We are working on it because every industry is needed material movement. Day to day, every industry has a process.
You measure the tonnage you move inside of a day.
Yes, actually, we have a metrics like this. We moved around 45,000 kilometers. We have traveled in shop floors in 1 year. Last 1 year, we have measured 45 kilometers of travel. And with respect to tonnage, we would have crossed. It would have been 100 tons of materials we have moved across the
How do you maintain the lifts? Because there's got to be wear and tear when you're lifting heavy loads.
Yes, things are like we support with at least 1 year warranty, and then we have AMC associated with that. So that is how the business model operates. So very few parts gets wear and tear. So it is like your bike and car service maintenance. Every quarterly you keep it safe.
And you were revenue generating in the first year.
Yes.
Yeah, yourself. That's amazing.
And we are nearing profitability by this year. So we would make a good, decent PAT this year. So first year we have made a 4 crore revenue. Till this 2 quarters we have made 4 crore revenue. So we will be closing at 12 crore revenue end of this year. That too with Indian sales. So now we are expanding globally. Maybe we are
as a UAE-India startup series.
we are looking to make like a global headquarter presence in UAE. So this will open a bigger market space. So we have already partners in US. We have partner in Australia. We have partners in Europe. So we see UAE as a strategic place where we could touch upon all these points from a central point.
And UAE is definitely a big trading hub as well. So you will find big warehouses of all industries.
And one more thing to add on is like UAE itself is growing as an industrial hub because they are pledging to reach 3 trillion with manufacturing as one of the key sectors. So we wanted to be a local ecosystem enabler for this because you call factories, you give people, you give space, you give the infrastructure. And we wanted to be a technology provider. So we wanted to give a world-class product to this industries.
Do you already have your eyes set on like a even higher tonnage product?
Yes, we are planning to go up to 10 tons. It's our plan in
That's a monster forklift.
Monteberti. So even we are planning to make a small pivot towards sports and handling the whole trucks. So because these are all very heavy tonnage products. So these are all in our pipeline. But we are looking for a right avenues and opportunities because at the startup, we count every money, we count every resources, we count every bit of the energy what we spend. So we are looking for that scale.
All right. All the very best. Thank you so much.
All right, listeners, we're sitting here with Dheeraj and Janisha of Kazam EV. When I was driving up to the venue today, I couldn't help but notice that the number of cars with green plates is only growing. So EV adoption in India is going higher and higher and higher, and it's companies like theirs that are making it possible. Tell us a little more about the company.
Thank you very much for having us here, first of all. So Kazam started 5 years ago in 2020. We understood that there's a need of EV transition that is happening in the country, and we realized that it is very important to have a secure infrastructure to have that kind of a charging. So we started with creating our own chargers, became a charger OEM, and later till today, we realized that it's not just about the chargers, but it's also about the technology behind it. So anything that happens post you scan a QR at a charger while plugging your EV vehicle to charge that vehicle is the kind of technology that we built. So we work with CPOs in India. We are live in 10 plus countries at the moment, and we are helping these charge point operators to create a unparalleled and dynamic solution to have that entire infrastructure. They want to know how much energy did a vehicle take to charge, how much money do they need to pay, what is the aggregation fee, what is the taxation. Plus, we work with almost all major bus operators and EV bus OEMs here in India to help them moderate the energy management solutions in their hubs today. So that would be localization of understanding and optimizing of energy. Is there an energy loss at their hub? Is there a specific energy loss happening at a charger level, at a vehicle level, or at the grid level? We help them minimize that entire operational cost and get that to a lower spectrum.
Give us a sense of how the density of the charging ecosystem in India is growing.
Well, I would say we have three basic categories. One is two-wheelers, three-wheelers, and three-wheeler, four-wheeler, and then bus OEMs that we have. We have more than 80 million two-wheeler, EV two-wheelers in the country right now, which is more than the population of some of the Western countries that we work with, right? So we have a big infrastructure in the ecosystem for EV specifically, which makes it easy for anyone to have EV today, number one. Number two, also the basic gist of anyone not buying an EV was that they had range anxiety. That today, if I start driving and I need to go for the next 100 kilometers, maybe the car battery runs out of juice and I'll be stranded somewhere. I think that is what everyone is trying to get hold of. And now we have a great infrastructure in the country. And I think anyone who's in the EV space, maybe driving, to someone like us who's actually building that technology, has a great potential in the market as well.
And are there universal standards that exist for interoperability between like OEMs, between different car manufacturers and stuff?
Yeah, so I think in terms of what Kazam believes is not just high number of chargers, but also increasing the utilization of the existing chargers as well. So all of our chargers are on unified energy interface, which are interoperable by nature, and you will be able to discover chargers across any apps, including Kazam. So other charger also are available on our app. That's how the entire ecosystem works, and that's what we believe in. That's the vision we are working towards also in the charging ecosystem.
You're almost saying it's to be thought of as a public good.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, of
Yeah.
course.
Yeah.
And in terms of, you said you're working with partners in the West as well. So what other countries have you explored and why UAE as well?
Okay. So we are in Myanmar, we are in Nepal, we are in a couple of more Southeast Asian countries. We are in Dubai very well. We work with a lot of CPOs at the moment. I wouldn't say a lot of, but yeah, some CPOs who are very well have a great utilization of their chargers. So we are working with them, helping them with the technology part as well. I think what UAE's vision of 2030 and 2050 in terms of their ecosystem and getting the green energy deployed is something that we are working towards as well. And what we were 5 years ago in terms of the ecosystem, UAE is there right now. And I think our solutions are best equipped to help them get to that rudimentary part and fundamental part and get not be where they have a lot of questions. Instead, they have a lot of solutions. So I think that is what we are going to fix. Energy is going to be the next wave in a couple of years. And I think if we are right now equipped with enough solutions to moderate, optimize, and reduce the cost for it, is something that Kazam is building right now. And I'll be more than eager to get in UAE with that.
Amazing. All the best today. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank
Great
you.
talking to you.
Thank you.
All right. We have Dr. Rao and Vijay from Novacret with us. What do you do?
I was working in Indian Institute of Science as Chief Research Scientist for the last 40 years. And during that last few years, I've been working on finding an alternative to Portland cement as a binder. And the success of that in the laboratory has led us to this startup and getting into this profession of changing the environment itself.
And why should cement be replaced?
See, the problem with cement is that it gives out almost 8% of the carbon dioxide emissions out of the total 13% which the construction industry is going to give out. And the main culprit is the production of Portland cement, where we use the limestone as the raw material, and whatever is the changes that we do, we will not be able to reduce it below 850 kgs per ton of Portland cement.
And also associated with that, it asks for more water for curing. For every cubic meter, 250 liters of water is consumed. And if you see, even in if you go back 100 years back, like 1925, it takes 27 days to achieve strength. Even now, 2025, it takes 27 days. So we are solving that.
And how are the lab results promising?
So it's incredible. So we are having compressive strength by 2x compared to conventional concrete, and it's more durable because of less water absorption rate, and we are achieving strength in less than 7 days compared to 27 days of conventional concrete.
And where do you see applications of this apart from just the construction industry?
Also, primarily in infrastructure projects, where
Let me ask you to just speak up a little bit. The volume?
volume. All right. Yeah, sure. All right. So primarily we are currently we are doing application in the infrastructure project, mainly in the precast products and engineering blocks. Currently we are started with that. So slowly we'll be moving to ready mix concrete.
Okay. And UAE has been an exciting market for you?
Yeah, absolutely, because we are the technology enabler. I mean, we gives the solutions directly addressed for the UAE's vision. It could be water security and decarbonization. And as we are using industrial byproducts as a waste material, which are waste material as a raw material for us, we're contributing to the circular economy.
That's amazing. So you started with an innovation. You've pretty much started commercializing that innovation right now. Are you manufacturing a lot of this material?
Yes.
Yes, we are now currently in the production stage of non-structural construction products like paver blocks, curbstones, sulfur drains, and which are being used in lot of construction industry. And we are in the production stage. And the laboratory stage, we are in a very advanced stage of producing aerated concrete blocks, which is very vital in order to reduce the dead weight of the materials for construction.
Would you say it would be of interest to your business? I mean, there are developers in India, but a lot of other developers outside of India in the Middle East also who are delivering sustainable projects. And
Correct, because we are solving aerated concrete blocks with the autoclaving. So where there's no autoclaving needed, where we are saving a lot of energy which is used to gain the strength. And we are also the aerated concrete blocks has got thermal comfort, where it cuts energy cost, which is a very highly intensive for be it for data center applications or any infrastructure projects.
All right. All the best for today. Thank you.
Thanks, sir.
Thank you.
all right, we're now sitting with Ankit and Shresht who are building a company called Simple electric two-wheelers, and they've already shipped about 2 years ago their first their flagship product called Simple One. Tell us about the journey.
So it's been a great journey. Thank you for having us. First of all, it's been a great journey. We've been able to scale up from a 100 square feet room to almost a 2 lakh square feet facility, and we have sold our product which we have put in, built from ground up, the technology that we've built. We call ourselves not just an electric two-wheeler company, but a company which focuses more on the full stack development, the technology, the motors, battery packs, hardware, firmware,
So the
everything.
sale took place in 2023, but there was a lot of work that went on behind the scenes. You were saying wait, 4 years. Talk to us a little bit about that.
Yeah. So when we started back in 2019 is when we registered the entity, but we started working on it 2018. So we've been focusing on the core problems in terms of adoption of electric vehicles. First is the range anxiety part, which continues to be there. So we have our product Simple One, which is the highest range scooter in the Indian market with 248 kilometers of certified range. We are able to solve that. In addition to that, we have tried to build the complete motor and battery technology in-house with our in-house team. And we also have a patented process for manufacturing motors, and we have filed it across the globe. Countries like Europe, continents like Europe, China, US, Israel, everywhere we filed it.
And in terms of things that consumers really care about, look, they have choice and they love choice. But you also have I'm not going to name them necessarily, but you have a bunch of people who had, let's say, an early mover advantage. So how do you position your offering in such a way that it really resonates with the right consumers?
So for us, the customer's needs are the most important part. We are giving the range anxiety problem, we are solving that. Plus, we are giving 8 years of warranty on the motor and the battery.
What's the industry average?
It's around 3 years and 30,000 kilometers, but we are talking about 8 years and 80,000 kilometers. So that's like a light job, a two-wheeler.
Yeah. And is that on the whole vehicle, or is it on assemblies, parts?
Motors and battery packs, because that's the part which will be used and probably most prone to problems coming in the future. So that we've covered, because we've built it in-house, we are able to test, validate, and give that kind of warranty to the customers.
And do you partner with people who are actually who are building the charging infrastructure as well? Because one can't go without the other.
Yeah, so basically we have tied up with a third party who already has a dense network of charging infra across country. We are mostly into a full stack development of the vehicle, and I think we let others develop the charging infra which is needed. But I think on two-wheeler side, it is much easier as an adoption because they have the option to charge at home rather than depending on any third-party charging infra.
They must be all interoperable, right?
Yeah. So right now they are not interportable, but we got our technology completely integrated with their systems, so that our vehicles are read by their systems and they can be charged in their charging.
Yeah, I have a question for you. Sometimes, when you're driving on the roads, you see those cars, the test cars, who they generally put some sort of decals in them.
Yes.
Stickers and decals in them. So my guess is that before you actually put a car, you hand over the keys to a customer, you have to do a certain minimum number of miles just in testing does that happen in your industry?
Yes. So basically,
Our industries, yeah.
So basically, a product development life cycle has to go through from a drawing board to developing a proto to testing it for the entire life cycle of the vehicle, each and every component, and then testing it on actual road conditions. So basically, if you see India, it's a diverse climatic condition across. So we just cannot rely on testing it in maybe in our location, but probably in all kind of climates like Rajasthan, Kerala, Goa, and other markets.
What's the closest dealership to this venue?
So we have one in Delhi.
Yeah.
It's in Uttam Nagar.
Okay.
So although our north presence is slightly less right now, we are mostly densely present in South India.
Yeah.
So close to almost 100 touch points right now, but almost 70% are in South, another 10-15% in West, and maybe 5-10% in North.
And why are you excited about the UAE Startup Series?
I think we are a full stack tech company, and the product is not made specifically for Indian market, but it's a global product. I think the CEPA Conclave or the Startup Series gives us a platform where we can explore other markets. I think Middle East strategically is a location which connects the entire world at much faster pace, and also the trade barriers are too low. So we want to maybe identify the markets. I think Africa is a big market. Middle East itself has a lot of potential in terms of market, and Europe is third. So these markets we can cater through maybe partnering with someone in UAE.
All the very best today. Thank you so much for
Thank you
coming
so
here.
much.
Thank you.
All right, now we're sitting with Sayak and Jeet of StepOut. What are you guys building?
So we are a sports performance analysis startup. We help football teams, players and coaches improve their performance and identify the right talent.
Are you guys football fans yourselves?
Yeah, huge, massive fans. I've been watching the sport since 2000, 2002s. And then practically Real Madrid. I'm a Real Madrid fan. He's a Barcelona fan. We ended up founding the company together. So
Are you in business with the club?
yes, so we have recently got an award from Real Madrid as one of the easiest, best startups they've scouted from across the globe. And now we are starting a parallel project with them where they're using our tech to develop their next generation of players.
So help us visualize when a coach, a team chooses to work with you guys, how does it reflect on the performance of their athletes?
So essentially how it works is they just upload a video, or AI and computer vision tracks the players and basically converts all their manual tedious job into an automated flow. So once they upload the video, earlier which used to take like 4 or 5 days, gets converted in a few hours. So after that they have entire automated analysis, and they can right now utilize that time in understanding what the athlete is doing wrong, where they can improve, design training plans accordingly. So it becomes a much more efficient process.
Do you think the pros can use this to study their competitors as well?
Yes, definitely. They do a lot. So one utilization of our tech is to analyze your team, analyze, let's say, your strengths, weaknesses, improvement scopes. But also the clients, they use the tech to analyze their opposition, to understand patterns, trends within their kind of style of play, and see where are the vulnerabilities, where they can attack, where they can press and kind of win. So there are two major objectives. When a pro club is using it, it's to win a match. But when a youth academy is using it, it's to kind of identify the talent and their developmental areas.
And why the UAE? Why this competition as well?
I mean, GCC is one of the big markets with massive investments in football. Like we know Ronaldo is there. They will be hosting the World Cup as well. and with UAE, it kind of like feels a right fit because that will give us a soft launchpad over there. We are working with already a couple of clients over there. For example, the MENA Cup, which is one of the largest youth tournaments, football youth tournaments across the globe. So I believe it would be a great opportunity for us to be a part of it.
Yeah, and we've seen like the UAE football grow immensely, right? So we were doing our research. So in 1990s, they were like ranked 40. But recently in 2012, their ranking went down to around 138. But now recently they're now ranked 67. And for the first time, the under 17 team has qualified for the World Cup.
Oh, wow.
So what we want to do is not let these talented under 17 players like drop out of the system. We want to get them the best kind of tools that are out there so they can develop and chase their dreams and becoming a pro player and then play somewhere in the best clubs out there.
I think Gulgata chair is also the chair of Man City.
Yes,
So, yes, correct.
all right. Thank you so much. All the best.
Thank you, Salah. It's a pleasure. Thank you.
Hi, we have Samyak and Tanvi from Zeko AI. Please tell us, what does the business do?
So we are an enterprise AI platform. We create AI agents for enterprises to solve for their talent problems. So these AI agents actually take interviews, talk to the stakeholders and align for better talent decisions.
And do they give them tasks? Is it video-based, audio-based, text-based?
So yes, so it is actually audio video based. So it would give them tasks like a coding round to and then cross question on the code that is written. It would even do a phone call if required, right? So yeah, it's a multi-model in that sense.
What is the stack that this is built on?
So we're using at the backend we're using Python base, right? And then for front end is all LLMs with fine tuned particularly for those enterprises. So I take care of tech, she takes care of the customers. So
Are the recruiting managers developing confidence in the agents to be able to do things that humans were doing until a few years ago?
I think yes, there is an increasing sort of understanding, at least within India, we see that there's a huge adoption. There's an increasing belief that yes, AI will help us do our job better. I think 2 years back there was a lot of threat and people were sort of pushing back, but I think there is more adoption now.
And what kind of roles can it hire for?
So we do across industries, right? So we've done tech, coding, we've done financial controller, we've done sales, we've done pickers in a Swiggy, Zomato kind of setup, porter kind of setup.
How many jobs have you filled using our platform?
So we don't count the number of jobs that we have filled, we count the number of interviews that are being done on the platform today. These are usually around 8 to 10,000 interviews every month that we are doing and scale like growing at a 20-25% on month growth because adoption is quite very high and it is more inbound for us. So usually we see people coming on the platform via chat GPT search and telling us, hey, we want to take a demo. And these are not startups, these are largest of the enterprises there, which means they're under that pressure to adopt AI fast.
And what all in the employee life cycle are you servicing right now? You said hiring and onboarding. What else?
So again, so we are actually building it the way the customers are wanting it. So a lot of requirement is actually coming from training people. So imagine an insurance company hiring for a lot of sales people, right? Training them on the product, right? It's very important. So AI on the other hand is now training the person, answering all the questions that they have. That is one. Employee feedback is another. Exit interviews is another.
Especially for service organizations, exit interviews become very important as it's a very people are the assets in service org. So exit interviews also become very
What is it that they're doing wrong, how they can retain the employees better. Internal mobility is another good use case where there is some project coming up and you need to see which all people are on your bench and which all can be put into this project.
Have you already gotten to the point where agents are able to orchestrate workflows by themselves autonomously?
Okay, so you're saying AI agents are able to, yes. So we are actually building certain workflows, particularly which is agentic AI in itself, right? Where let's say you just tell what is to be done and it kind of creates the entire workflow itself.
But it is very important to mention that at least for some time we do see human in loop being a very important concept, even though agentic AI is there, is growing, but having humans in loop to make decisions because we operate in a very sensitive people space and it's a very there are big decisions that AI is taking. So we do have complete human in loop integrated in the platform.
So AI would actually tell you that, hey, this candidate is important and this candidate is not really giving any importance to me. You should rather call this. And
What is the scale of the business right now?
so we are working with more than 50 paid enterprises plus around 70, 80 enterprises in pilot right now.
And average contract value would be?
So it's evolving. We started with something around 8 to 10 lakhs average per year, but now it has gone to a scale of 25, 30 with major contracts being 80 lakhs.
Expansion is happening. And why this UAE startup pitch event?
So very interesting, but we actually launched Avya, who is our AI, in Jitex in UAE, right?
Yeah.
And there were, I think, around 5,000 startups in that North Star, Expand North Star event there. We were the only one in 2023, only one where people, I will show you those photos where people were talking to AI and then AI actually responding to them in real time. It was a big fascination for all of those there, and we got a good response. And that actually led us to running few pilots in UAE and then expanding there. When we got to know about it, we were like, we want to be there.
All right. Wishing you all the best. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
All right. So we have Subhajit and Vasu from Ford Climate. What are you guys doing?
So we are into manufacturing of automation solutions for protected cultivation.
And what do you mean by protected cultivation?
So protected cultivation, which includes like indoor farms, like controlled environment agriculture and all.
And do people do this for hobbies or do they do it at business scale as well?
So it's on a wide scale, if you say. So in many of the regions, they do in the hydroponic farming is for like having sustainable, clean access to food. And on the other way, there are many small scale projects as well. They do for hobbies and all. But we're focusing mostly on the commercial aspect.
Right.
And this includes
The
like,
people who do this commercially, like what's their output? How many tons? And
that depends on the scale of the farm. I mean, we have done projects from 10 acres to 15 to 20 acres as well.
Wow.
So these are completely autonomous farms.
Removing the need for basically farmland.
There is a reason for that one, specific. Because if you look, many of the regions, like if they're arid region, for example, if we take India, for example, Rajasthan, you cannot grow food over there. Plus water scarcity is also another aspect regarding that. Now, when you bring controlled farming over the space, you are essentially able to manage the climate altogether, and also you'll be using soil-less agriculture methods. So you're not relying on the soil for the growing of the crops. And this gives you a lot of outcome, activity, productivity, and use of fertilizers and all in a very constrict way.
where do the best practices in this come from? Like India, I mean, we've got no doubt the plan, no doubt the people. But I believe Israel, for instance, does a lot of research.
They are a leader in this industry.
Yeah.
So number one, it's come out of Israel definitely, but the Dutch guys are also ahead, leading the curve. And right now, I mean, there's a strong growth in the Middle East region, and that's where we're very actively looking. And I think this event is also very suitable for us in that aspect. And in India also, like you're seeing a good amount of growth. It will take some time, but the tangent is good.
And what are the big states for you right now in terms of business in India?
Mostly the northern parts. So Delhi, Haryana, Dehradun, then Maharashtra, Gujarat, as aspect. And we're also slowly scaling in the south as well. It just started.
Can you vividly help us understand like what vegetables and fruits are we talking about over here?
So majority in indoor farms, leafy vegetables, all type of leafy greens.
Lettuce, kale, all of those things that
all kinds of leafy greens, it is lettuce, kale, everything. Plus in polyhouse we can grow vine crops such as cucumber, seedless cucumber, that is bell pepper, and like vegetables like brinjals and all.
And something that is getting a lot of traction in India right now is the berries. So strawberries, blueberries, raspberries. So people are trying to do all those things all together.
And it makes growing of these crops, weather independent as well, right?
It's climate resilient, definitely. And second thing is within a small landhold or the area that you have, you are able to stack them vertically. So that gives you like 5x, 10x kind of productivity for the same.
And what's the scale of the business right now?
So we're early traction. So, I mean, in terms of revenue, if you ask us, we're projected to do around 1.5 crore Indian rupees this fiscal year. And we're actively raising from various investors as all together.
All right. All the best.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Yeah.
Thank you.
All right, so now we're sitting with Keshav and Abhishek of 8byte AI. If you've been following the show, you remember that Anand Chandrasekharan, who's in fact a returning guest, spoke about how some companies are going to help other large companies re-rate themselves as AI companies. It seems to me that's what these gentlemen are doing. Talk a little bit about your company.
So I'm Abhishek, co-founder of 8byte. I take care of product and technology. So what we do is automate the entire workflow of an analyst, where they spend 70% of the time into manual work. Keep doing it. Every time they get a deal, they have to do the same thing. So we are automating this. So far, the client that you are working, the analyst used to take like 15-20 days to do process like 10,000 pages of PDF and documents. Now we have come down to 30 minutes. So what it works, what it helps is point number one, it increases your productivity definitely. Second, you don't lose your deal to the other clients.
Are you talking about research analysts, investment analysts?
Research analysts, investment analysts, credit analysts, because in a financial services from where we belong, right? We have spent 10 years, 23 years. Majority of work is same. It's all like going through the data, going through the document.
But what is your secret sauce? Why are you uniquely able to do this?
So fundamentally, what we do is we have built this entire orchestration platform from data parsing to search. This is our proprietary search where we generate the knowledge. We also do the LLM routing. And because of this small thing that we can take care of, the generic or frontier models are not able to do it. That is where we are able to reach up to 95% of accuracy when you are asking the query or when you are searching certain documents. And I was part of a ecosystem of Temasek where I launched this, and majority of funds now using this.
So you're saying large companies can't obviously use off-the-shelf models.
Yes.
Not all of them have the capability to build models of their own. So they partner with you guys. And how do you help them? How do you deploy? How do you train your own models?
Yeah, sorry. I mean, it's not that they don't have the capability. That will not be the case. It's just that the field itself is fairly new, right? All of us are learning in the AI space, and every day we're discovering new things, right? So what we do is that we work with multiple such large financial institutions. So the learning curve is pretty high. Second thing is that the proprietary information that the client has, our main proprietary is the scorecards that the client had, right? And that we protect because we do an on-prem deployment. Some of the larger ones are very finicky about the kind of algorithms that they have created over the decades. We ensure that those guardrails are there so that we don't actually get to see the data ourselves. We deploy those models. A most important discovery that we did is that while on the AI side, there's a lot of buzz around it, but it's also very expensive to use when you use it for an enterprise. To mitigate that, what we have done is that we have trained smaller models. So we have basically lower parameters and we've trained those models. So the costs have gone down significantly. The algorithms that we have created can be hosted across various geographies on-prem deployment. And these SLMs are basically our forte where we orchestrate. So
And talk a little bit about picking the right model for the right job. Like even if you have a Ferrari in your garage, you're never going to pick that car to go buy vegetables, right? So
absolutely. So there's no single source of truth. What we have done is that we have built an orchestrator. What it does is that there are, let's say we classify the questions into quantifiable questions. Let's say there are predictable questions. We basically created an orchestrated model where we will allow the client to, while they're doing testing, they will say thumbs up or thumbs down, right? So let's say if this is a quantifiable model, we say, okay, this model works better when it comes to number crunching. But when you have to take, let's say, a generic view about something, like, is it worthy to invest or not, right? Those kind of things, we have a separate model. So we have basically created an orchestration layer where each questions are tagged to each kind of queries, right? So
what is the scale of the business right now?
In terms of revenue you're talking about, so we have 4 active engagements.
Or customers, if you want to.
So 4 active engagements in Middle East, and we have 11 in India. India is mostly underwriting and tech stack for wholesale banking, retail banking. So it's an end-to-end orchestration. Middle East is very specific financial services. So we have credit rating agencies, private equity players, investment banking, and a large bank in Bahrain.
And you want to use this startup competition as a way to get deeper into the UAE market?
Yeah, so one is not just UAE market, we're looking at the Middle East as a market, right? One thing is that we are a bootstrap company, so we have put in everything that we have in the company, right? So we are looking for validation and credibility, right? I think that's extremely important. Middle East market is very peculiar in that sense that they are all looking for a local presence. So even in fact, all the 4 deals that we have is via a company which is established in Middle East, right? So it also kind of makes it very challenging for us to deal with the clients directly.
All right. Thank you so much. All the very best.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
all right, we're now seated with Akshay and Harshad, who are building a company called Ashta Tech, and they make what they call underwater drones. In fact, the flagship product is called Jalayantrika. Tell us more about Jalayantrika and the company itself.
Yeah, Akshay. So basically, we started with building robotic arms back in 2016.
So at that time, no one was making 6-axis robotic arms. Then in 2018, we started with autonomous vehicles. So one day, one of the top Navy personals, he told us, why don't you join them together and put it in the ocean?
Yeah.
So that's how the that's how the idea of Jalyantrika was born.
Yeah.
And
It was like a solution in the search of a problem.
yes,
That
absolutely.
So need and solution.
Right. Because till then, there of course there are a lot of companies building already the submersibles, but those are already into just surveillance and inspection.
Right.
So there were no solutions for actually going inside and doing the.
You now serve the shipping industry with your
Shipping and defense are the key clients, and oil and gas.
and what do they put it used for?
So ideally, if you carry a ship around the globe and then you have to do the hull inspection.
Yeah.
So for that you have to do the dry docking.
Yeah.
So that complete process is a huge cumbersome, and it
It has to come back to dock. You have to live here.
you have to live.
And a cost also.
It incurs a lot of cost. So rather than doing all that stuff, just put up a drone inside. It will.
You can inspect it anchorage.
Yes. Okay.
What is the cost of such a drone?
So costing to make it is around 3.5 to 4 crores.
Okay.
For such drone, and even the competitors, it's in the same bandwidth. Whereas the inspection drones, they are quite cheaper than that, around 50% cheaper. But then you have to send a workforce to.
And do people buy these from you? Do they lease them? Do they rent them?
So the business plan is about leasing them, drone as a service. Yeah.
And who pilots the drone?
So our idea is to the someone who has the diving experience, he should be the pilot. So because he already has the
Experience here and also.
how the turbidity works, how the water works.
And how many have you sold so far?
So right now it's in a prototype version, but as of now we are into the pilot stage. So let's see.
And the excitement for the UAE market?
Absolutely, because it is one of the most dense underwater infrastructure they carry. So, and of course,
Where will you test all of these things? Is there a facility or just open waters?
So usually there is a what I can say, barometric test for each component. So you can test it about 300 meters under the closed pressurized chamber. So rather than putting such, because it's a huge investment, so rather than sending it directly inside the water, it's better to test it in a controlled environment.
All right. Thank you so much. All the very best. Yeah. That's the same. Nice talking with you. Likewise. Thank you. We have Digantara. Folks, what are you doing and why is it important?
So Digantara is a space surveillance and defense tech company. So as you would know that space is growing exponentially. There were about 2,000 satellites in 2020 to 15,000 satellites. So you need a basic infrastructure to support that growth. That's the infrastructure that we are building at Digantara. So again, the synonym is a Sanskrit word for space. We are building across satellites, ground systems to track across the low Earth orbit to geostationary orbit, and then providing a bunch of software analytics to different agencies and satellite operators.
And why the UAE?
So UAE is an interesting market because they have the 2030 space strategy where they want to put space as one of the sovereign focus from the government side. And also there's a lot of active engagements where we see like the UN, where they are advocating for space safety and sustainability. We are also part of the similar steering committees from which we understand the government's aspirations to protect and ensure that safe and sustainable space is accessible to everyone. That's why we feel that we have much to contribute and gain between initial India UAE corridor. That's why we think is the right time for us to go there.
Space access, you mean, is it space travel or is it putting satellites in space which beam data back to Earth?
It's about accessibility to space at the end of the day. So we can talk about putting assets in space. We can talk about putting satellites in space. We can talk about maybe in the future putting humans in space and all that. But for that, you need a basic navigational infrastructure. You need an intelligence infrastructure, and that's what we are building at the.
So like the GPS for the space world.
Can you give us a sense of the scale of the business right now?
Sure.
So we started about 5 years back. Today we have about 150 people team working out of the US, Singapore, and India. In terms of the scale, we have launched 3 satellites in last 4 years. We operate a bunch of ground-based assets for surveillance in India, South America, and different parts of the globe. Today we are actively contributing to the Indian defense on the civilian and the military front, working with most of the space and defense agencies. In the US, we are pretty big, working actively with the US Air Force Space Command, In Singapore, we are contributing to the Office of SpaceX Singapore. In the India and APAC, we have been rapidly growing faster. Now we are trying to grow in other parts of the globe, including.
Will you start with the India market and then expand outwards?
Yeah, for us, being a domestic Indian company, the time we started, there were odd 5-10 space companies. Today, there's more than 50 space companies. So we were one of the early space companies here in the ecosystem. So we receive a lot of government support from the Prime Minister's office, the MOD. That's where, we were at the right space at the right time. That led in an indirect way for our growth. But,
ISRO played a big role in your journey as well.
I think Rahul, do you want to take that?
Yeah, ISRO has played a role in our journey. Like we have worked together with ISRO, and ISRO is actually a customer today.
So ISRO launched a platform called POEM to launch private space startups payloads. We are the early companies, the first 2 companies to get access to the platform to launch our payload in the orbit. And definitely ISRO's launch vehicle is something that we look forward to, including the likes of SpaceX. So we've been actively working with ISRO on different fronts.
You mentioned there's at least 50 space companies out of India right now. Do you guys collaborate with each other? Do you keep in touch? Find common solutions to common problems and so forth?
Yes. So I would say space community in India is like a small WhatsApp group of friends. So everybody is in touch with everyone, and we do share our common problem statements. The good thing is that no 2 companies are actually solving kind of the same problem statement. So everyone is doing their niche thing. So pretty much everyone can learn from everyone, and that's how we're growing together.
Amazing. All the best.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
All right, so we're now sitting with Aditya and Manjula of Doqfy. Tell us what your business does.
Thank you for this opportunity. Doqfy is a contract automation platform. It is powered by AI. Typically, businesses have challenges after executing contract. So we take the end-to-end contract as a suite of products. It covers the pre-contract risk assessment. That means the risk assessment involved by the counterparties who are the partners that you're going to do the business. So you would do a pre-contract risk assessment by validating their business as well as their individual identifications.
Your systems read through the contracts?
This is even before going to the contracts. This is like even before signing the contract, you want to give an offer to the vendor or service provider. So it would do a validation of his documentation that is submitted to be a part of your business, including your business documents related to the MCA, the PF remittances, GST filings and everything. So we have an AI engine which would actually pull
out all of this data.
Yeah. So it will read the status of those registrations, if there is any baggage of the vendor partners, such as legal consequences which are already been there, or pending court case litigations.
So pre-contract diligence,
yes,
and then contract execution.
Yeah.
Do customers come to you for this request as well, or this service as well, where they're expecting you to do diligence for them?
Yeah, absolutely. So when we started, it was only a contract execution module, and India has a mandate that you have to execute contracts with the stamping on top of each of the contract because it's not uniform. And for corporates and businesses, it is a nightmare to navigate these processes for this.
Without the stamp, it's not even a court admissible.
It's not valued in the code of law. And we have integrated these systems with government systems so that we can procure stamping across the country from Jammu and Kashmir to Kanyakumari. And the document gets appended to the agreement and will be sent for the digital execution, including the signings, whichever is required for the business. For BFSI, it asks for the Aadhaar-based signatures, and for MCA, they would ask you to sign with DSC token signature. So we have integrated all the signature types, starting from Aadhaar, electronic, DSC token.
How many different options are there?
Yeah, almost like five to six different options, which includes the biometric face authentication signature as well. And that gets appended with the audit trail once the contract is executed. So the story does not end over there. So it actually continues further because we have addendums keep coming in onto the contracts, and you'll have additional documentation that keeps coming in, escalations coming, and there are obligations that you need to manage throughout the contract, the lifetime of the contract. So it is again scattered. So we have created this module which covers the end-to-end product suite of contract, pre-contract risk assessment, contract execution, contract lifecycle management, including the compliances.
You have to do a lot of customization in order to serve your large clients?
Not really. So this is a framework which has already been defined by the system, and it's only the industry that we need to modify that too, and then
And internationally, is your solution valid in many other countries as well?
absolutely yes. If you bar the stamping mechanism in India, the rest of the applications is totally applicable in the international market. So we are opening up. This is where we are in UAE startup series. We are actually doing few POCs in UAE, especially in Dubai, to get the offering in the Dubai market.
And what industries will be most attractive for you to enter with?
To enter with, we pick up from the banking, real estate especially, and then logistics is one more contract heavy segments, healthcare, and then education sector, ed tech. So contracts are the backbone of any business. Without contracts, there are no businesses that you can run. So it becomes very critical to manage the contracts. And most of the contract tools that are built is for the Western market or for the North American market. And it's very expensive in the market, right? So you do not have an affordable CLM platform or contract tools for the small and medium businesses or for the native businesses that are operating in special economic zones in UAE or the Southeast Asian market, Southeast Asia market.
And now that you've solved for a lot of complexity in your home market, you think it's going to be easy peasy for you to go launch another.
Absolutely. Like, so yeah, we have set the groundwork, we have created the frameworks, and it's about getting into the new market and adopting the regulations according to that new markets and give the offerings to the customers.
All right.
All right.
Thank you so much for coming and sharing your journey.
All the best.
Thank
you.
So much.
All right. So we have Gagan and Farzana from Ease My AI. What does the business do?
We have an automation platform which help enterprise customers with digital transformation, and we make their workplace more safe and secure, helps them in managing compliance.
And what kind of compliances are you talking about?
Like PPE kit detection and general rules during the manufacturing places. We also work with Indian Defense.
So industry agnostic.
Yes, it's a industry agnostic platform, can be deployed at any of the.
You want to give us an example of the most recent deployment?
I will give two examples. We are working with Indian Defense as well, where two of their prominent location we have given a platform to manage the security and surveillance. Major of their cameras are running on our platform. Other than this, we have GMR as one of our client and investor on board. For them, we have been helping automating their power plants, and also one of the passenger boarding bridge in airport in Delhi. We have automated the complete billing part.
And so that's a very wide-ranging set of solutions that you provide to your customers. So all of this must be ad hoc and need-based, right? But is there a common stack that runs through all of this?
Exactly. So we have a 200 plus tech support developed for the platform, and any of these tech can be immediately onboarded on the platform. So you don't have to do coding or write a code for it or support for it, and you can immediately onboard. So we always say our platform is 80% ready, and the balance 20%, if there is a new use case, you have to just use the no code platform and build the use case on top of it, and things become very easy. So the platform make your reduce your journey from 2 year 18 months to 1 month or less than 1 month. You can immediately go live.
And your name has Ease My AI, the AI aspect as well. When did you launch the business, and has AI improved the process?
Yeah, so it's a third year of us basically. The intention was like everybody is talking about making AI models, but you require infrastructure to run on, run the AI models. So we thought, why not we making a platform? Anybody who is making an AI model and want to productize it, you can productize it using my platform. So it just take less than 10 to 15 days to productize your AI model.
In terms of growth and expansion, how do you pick which industry going after next, which use case?
So we are very much bullish on the logistic and transportation sector. So our major clients come from there, like GMR Airport. We are present at right now 22 airports. Other than this, we have a client like DP World. Dubai Port is also our client. We are also now exploring government ports in India. So this is what we feel, it's an evergreen sector and recession proof as well. Other than this, we are also concentrating on the manufacturing units as well.
Good. So I think then a partnership like this makes sense, because if it opens up the region to you, it's of course a regional aviation hub and so forth.
Exactly. And since Dubai, the Middle East, and especially Dubai, Abu Dhabi, they are very much pro for technology and new tech. And we already have a base there. We have been working with like Dubai Port, DP World. We also have Lulu Mall as a customer. And if we are able to get more clients, definitely we like to. And moreover, UAE as a place, it's more tech friendly, more startup friendly. They are more open for the new tech. Also, the government policies are very much pro for the upcoming technology. So we are very much looking forward for UAE.
Wishing you the best. All the best.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Yeah.
All right, Nanda and Sahil from Enmovil. What does the business do?
We are a supply chain logistics tech and AI platform that does supply chain planning, logistics planning, and logistic execution. Essentially for large enterprises, manufacturing across all verticals of manufacturing, logistic players, distributions. So given that supply chain is the very vital aspect of any large business, and also a cost center, the largest cost center essentially, optimizing it becomes extremely important, and that is what we do.
And the solution is software based?
It's a software-based solution, yes.
Okay. And I'm guessing that's a lot of tech involved as well, including AI.
Absolutely. There is a lot of...
Tell us a little bit about, like, how do you pitch your client that why should you switch to us?
Why should you switch to us? Because we are a platform that gives you that gives a reduction of about 8 to 15% straight up on your logistics cost. And with the AI platforms and all that stuff, it's not a bot. Our AI is not a bot. So it's an entire orchestration platform that essentially reduces your manual effort by about 50 to 70% straight up. And I'm talking about scale. We today in India, we have about 30 plus Fortune 100 companies, and the likes of Maruti's, Mahindra's, Nestle's, ITC's, and we've been able to show this kind of cost savings, the ROIs, and the optimization across all of these customers today. I think like people don't often realize, but a company at massive scale, even putting a small lever variable can result in multiple millions saved. And in supply chain, where people could kill for a percentage of reduction, if I was able to claim about 8 to 15%, I mean, that's why wouldn't you take me? Which is your go-to case study to offer as a proof point when you're closing new customers? Today, the logistics planning, the dispatch planning, dispatch scheduling, also very easily called as route optimization, and 3D loading, digital twinning.
It's the biggest client that you have, and what was the cost saving that you were able to do for them?
Say Maruti Suzuki. We've been with them for about 6 years now, more than about 6 years, and yes, I mean, their logistics cost has reduced by about 8 to 10% at least. And you have a sizable market share in India by now, based on what you're telling us. How do you want to expand outwards from here? We're definitely looking out. I mean, we now have bagged a couple of customers, one in Japan, one in the US. In fact, this is the first year that we have really looked at global expansion. And UAE obviously is an amazing place to be. I mean, that's a logistics hub. I mean, I've been told, I've been hearing yesterday too, it's about 8 hours at best from anywhere in the world, and who wouldn't be there? So we're looking at that market. We're looking at the APAC region, the Far West as well. And we're working with a lot of partners, a lot of good tech partners too. Yeah, that's what we're looking at.
All right. All the very best for today.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, listeners, we're now sitting with Bharadwaj and Karthik, and they're building a company called Endimension, putting AI pretty much to what I think is its best use, which is improving patient outcomes. Tell us a little bit about your company.
We are into healthcare. So we solve a problem for the radiologist. Like we build our AI solutions, like speeds up the workflow of the radiologist. So now they can handle more patients. So like there is no delay in treatment.
So if I'm a radiologist, and if Bharadwaj is the patient, he comes to me and we do imaging, what happens thereafter?
So the biggest problem generally in this space is that there is a shortage of radiologists. There aren't enough radiologists out there. In India, for 1.4 billion population, there are only about 10,000 radiologists. So you can see the current radiologists are highly burdened. They tend to take more time for each patient, and that compromises again the turnaround times for the patients. So generally, like, we are focused on two aspects. One is accuracy and speed. So accuracy, firstly, radiology, it's like a needle in a haystack problem. So there are like 1,000 to 2,000 images that the radiologist needs to see, and then there can be a very small 1 mm diameter abnormality, and they tend to miss it if they quickly scroll through. And our AI solution can actually identify all of these abnormalities. It will highlight them and alert the radiologist, so that the radiologist is prepared and they are not missing any abnormality or any disease pattern.
Which image scan is the toughest to read from a radiologist standpoint? Is it an MRI? Is it a CT?
Yeah, CT and MRI are generally very tough, because an X-ray generally it's just a single image, so the radiologist can do quickly within few minutes. But a CT and an MRI, there are like 1,000, 2,000 scans. And also from the need perspective, there are some patients, like critical patients for stroke, hemorrhage, trauma, where every minute matters for the patient. So in those cases, our AI actually helps.
Decision making.
Yeah, in the night, for example, there's no radiologist present. So in those cases, the AI can detect the abnormality, alert the care team. So it might not be radiologist, there can be a surgeon, there can be other care teams in the hospital. So the AI automatically alerts that this is a critical patient, he needs immediate care. So then the hospital can give the treatment to the patient, and also the faster the treatment begins, the greater the chances of survival and recovery for the patient. So that's where the AI adds really value addition.
Who are you working with in India right now, hospital partners?
We have like more than 800 hospitals and diagnostic centers that we are present. So mainly like small, medium hospitals in tier 2, tier 3 regions where there is a severe shortage of radiologists. And that's where we have like a lot of value addition. And there are also other larger hospital chains that we have partnered. We are also present in Africa, a couple of countries. And now we are actually looking to expand into the UAE and the MENA regions with the...
So the startup series make absolute sense. But what is the business model of the company? Do you charge per workflow? Do you charge per scan?
Yeah, it's generally like a per scan basis. So there are different scans, X-ray, CT, MRI, and each scan based on the volume of the scans, there is a different cost associated to that.
Nice. All the best. Thank you so much. All right. So we have Azhar and Rehan from Bioreform. What does the business do?
Sure. So Bioreform is solving one of the biggest global problems, that is plastic pollution, by manufacturing 100% eco-friendly alternatives to plastic and paper both.
Nice. And tell us a little bit about the scale of the business.
Sure. So we started 3 years ago when we were in college. And in the last 3 years, we have replaced more than 10 million plus single-use plastics. We are working in 8 cities in India and 3 international cities as well.
So how does it work? Like typically companies get in touch with you when they have packaging needs?
Yes. So amid all of this plastic ban that is happening in India and globally, there are companies and organizations that want alternatives, but they don't have one-stop solution design studio to go to, and we are that one-stop design studio. Basically, they come to us with their pain points and the solutions they need, and we not just recommend, but actually build and design those solutions in our factory and deliver them.
So you think of yourselves as a packaging company?
Yeah, sustainable alternatives company.
More like we call ourselves a one-stop design studio.
So tell us the last 3 things that you've designed which were exciting for you personally.
So I'll take this.
Yeah, marketing depths.
So there's an MNC called Advanta Life Sciences. It's one of the biggest companies in seed technology. Advanta reached out to us telling that that we use barricading tapes on our farms. This is made out of plastic. Just to understand barricading tape easily, when we see Hollywood movies, we see this yellow bright tape which says "Do not cross" on the crime scene, right? So this is the same tape, sort of tape used on agricultural lands in India, which is sponsored by the company, and it serves as a marketing medium on the farm. The thing is, when this barricading tape is used on the farm, yes, it's used on the farm. It's used as a barricading medium on the agricultural land. But the problem is, this is made of plastic, and it is a branding plus sustainability risk for Advanta. So they reached out to us because they had an internal goal that we want to eliminate plastic. So they reached out to us. We designed, ideated, prototyped, and built India's first 100% biodegradable and compostable barricading tape for them. And now this solution, which we piloted, which with the help of Kotak Mahindra Bank, they were happy to help us with their CSR fund to build this pilot. We were able to pilot it and we were able to commercialize it. And now it's being used across 20 states and on all farmlands in India now.
Can you give us, one material that is sustainable but nearly as durable as plastic used to be?
It's our material.
It's your
material.
material.
We call it Bioreform.
Yeah.
So it's actually, it has all the... we haven't applied for it yet, because as I mentioned, we just started right from college, so we had no idea about how the industry.
Just to add, Azhar is 26, I'm 22, so we were in college when he started this. So we just saw that the problem is plastic pollution, and technically we did not even belong to this domain. Azhar is from a civil engineering and management background. I am an AI engineer, and but the thing is, we were very passionate about the problem. So when also a very lovely story that Azhar was building this. Because he wanted to solve a problem, and we did not wait to materialize it or do some R&D, and we just saw an opportunity. We wanted to solve the problem, and we started it. Then I was looking at the efforts Azhar was putting into, and he was a one-man army. So I joined Bioreform as an intern, and then with all our work, we made our way together. We were able to build this together. So it became more of a lovely brother story. Then for me as a intern, I became the co-founder and the CMO at Bioreform.
Fascinating. Why are you excited about UAE?
So we were in Zytex in 2022, and there was a lot of ambition coming from UAE to ban single-use plastics. But when we actually went and spoke to the users who are going to be impacted with this, they were like very fearful because they didn't have alternatives. So we think that we are the right fit for them because we have all the alternatives that they'll need post this ban, and that's why we are planning for UAE.
Amazing. All the best.
All right, so we're sitting with Mayank of Data Sutram. Mayank, what does Data Sutram do?
So Data Sutram is building India's one of its kind AI infrastructure intelligence platform. And we work at the intersection of trust, identity, and risk, which is probably the three biggest pain points or the three biggest pain pillars of the Indian BFSI. And we are trying to, comprehensively, we're trying to be the first identity bureau in India. I think orthodoxically, if you have to get a loan in India, you have to have a CIBIL, right?
Yeah.
That's the statement. But what if I tell you an auto wallet today who doesn't have a bank account or maybe doesn't have a financial history? Will he be allowed for a loan because he doesn't have a CIBIL? No, at all.
Yes.
So we are trying to build for the 98% which doesn't get facilitated by the credit. And if we can throw some identity intelligence on that, which creates
Give us
trust.
an example. Like suppose the example that you took to introduce the company as well. Like a auto wala who doesn't have a bank account.
Right.
How are you enabling him to get a loan?
Absolutely. So today, we like self-professionals or self-employed people, they would have some financial history. Based on that, a CIBIL score comes in and they can go and either open a bank account or either try to apply for the credit. Now in Autowala, is it fair to assume he still has an income? It's just that it isn't a sophisticated income which can be prescribed by the bankers via bank statement.
So you're saying they were always good borrowers, good potential borrowers, but they were thin file borrowers.
Absolutely.
And so you're helping with that.
Absolutely. So by their digital means, by their digital identity, seeing how consistent their digital identity is over a period of time from all the alternate data perspectives. And then we are trying to create a model which is basically creating a score, an intelligence score, which actually gives the confidence to the lenders and increases their approval rates, decreases their delinquency, and gives them the confidence on the collections. So
what are the partners that you're working with right now in India?
So we're fortunate enough to work with the big banks, HDFC, Axis, ICICI, and from the lenders we're working with L&T Finance, Poonawalla, DMI.
Do you want to put
Mahindra
one metric and give us a sense of the scale of the business?
Metric in what exactly?
Disbursal rates, or just any metric.
So I'll tell you. I'll tell you a very interesting fact. So before 2024, the band above 700 plus CIBIL score had delinquencies around 2 to 3%, right? We got to know from the lenders we were working with that in the last 1.5 years, that delinquency rate has gone up to 5 to 6% in that creditworthy band. And based on the intersection or the amalgamation of our scores and their internal models, they were able to reduce that delinquency score to again back to 3 to 3.5%. So that is something that we don't really know because people are having 700 plus. See, what it translates is fraudsters are smarter than the lenders, ultimately. Because they have a score of 700, but still they are not paying the loans. So how can you actually, give that insight and also save the big bucks of the banks there?
Then how could this partnership be helpful for the business?
Oh, absolutely. I think so. What we're trying to build today in India has given us the confidence so that we can actually take this model and basically templatize it to the other countries as well. And we really want to head with the UAE. Reason being, it is the intersection for all the Middle Eastern market first. And secondly, as you know, like there are 4 million expats which are like Indians in the UAE, right? And the credit decisioning models, as we actually learned from the first Abu Dhabi banks and the people, the industry solvers that were there yesterday, that it's a little biased. So basically, if we can give some signals so that template can work for them, so that'll be really great for us.
All right. Thank you so much. So we have Ajay and Raghu from DocketRun. What do you do?
So we are creating a safety platform for manufacturing where we use edge computing and real-time vision analytics and we safeguard the people lives and also prevent the accidents before it can happen.
And do you use a specific kind of hardware for this?
Yeah, it's a specific hardware powered with GPUs, which can connect with any type of cameras which are available. It might be CCTV cameras, mobile devices, tablets, etc. And that becomes the eyes, that's the input source. The device that we have in is the brain that we call it, and the IoT are the sensors, are the ears and the nose, which can announce to the site location that what type of things which are going wrong and which can be rectified as such.
Could you describe to us a few different workplaces and occupational hazards?
Yes. We mainly worked for industries like Tata Steel, JSW Cement.
Like at the furnace itself?
Yeah.
Yes.
And these are high risky areas where the cameras are with cooling jackets, air getting pumped in, waters, etc. And that's where
all of these industries are very, very different, right? So the use cases or even the exceptions that you have to find out in such industries might also be very, very different.
But what we do is that
scenarios.
we focus on the domain, right? We collect the standard operating procedures, how typically a steel operations do, and that's where we bank on. We build expertise so that we can then repeat from one plant to another plant.
It's like supervisor has that knowledge, but that getting transferred to the brain that we build in, and that compliance are standardized and everything gets checked without a need of supervisor, because supervisor cannot be there everywhere in the plant. It becomes challenging task as such.
And what is the scale of the business right now?
We have delivered almost 160 plus deployments across India, working across pan-India basis, and has largely mentioned as Raghu that kind of clientele that we work with. We start with one small use case that we start with, and then we expand with their multiple locations across India.
I would imagine it's not just production facilities, but even storage facilities where accidents can happen, right? Like if a rack falls off or something like that, you look at that too?
Kind of similar use cases that we work with, but predominantly heavy is the industries that we predominantly want to focus on, and that's where our expertise lies in. But those type of also the use case are being considered, and we can train the GenAI model.
Focus.
Focus here,
And in terms of your excitement for the UAE market and the startup series today, why so?
So the UAE's Operation 300 billion is driving a rapid shift in AI-enabled Industry 4.2, where DocketRun has already is proven. It's not about technology as an experimentation, it's already proven on the ground as well. We understand the real shop floors, the problem statement, the complex operational challenges as well. And that's where we see the UAE steel, aluminum and industry clusters mirrors the environment where we have set the great benchmarks in India. And that's where the expansion of UAE looks like.
And there's a second angle to it, right? As the UAE as a nation, right, while they have aspiration to go for the 300 billion, right, at the same time they have to comply with the COP's 28 ESG missions, right? We can also help the government to ensure that while they are trying to achieve that number at scale at a faster pace, but also ensure that we are meeting the ESG norms.
Amazing. All the very best for today.
Thank you.
All right. Mudit and Abhishek from SBNRI. What does the business do?
The business is about managing wealth for NRIs, and it is basically a new generation wealth tech where a lot of cross-border tools are being integrated into the system for them to manage multiple currencies, multiple geography jurisdictions, and multiple tax laws within a single app at the click of a button. That's what the business is.
And why was this problem not solved before?
No, that's actually a good question. I think the way world evolved was basically when every company, whether in wealth or across financial institutions, focused on local jurisdictions first. I think overall, if you see, the world order is now moving towards cross-border, and everywhere it is happening the same way. So probably one reason is the macro tailwinds that I could see in terms of the overall sector, where local jurisdictions have their own infras of financial institutions set up in a technological way, and then connection of those multiple geography ecosystems is where the world is heading towards. And I think that is the right time for us to also double down on.
And the UAE market is exciting for you because
Like one of the world is, I think, the largest ecosystem for Indian diaspora also.
what are the other big corridors for you?
Sure. So US, UAE, UK, followed by a bit of Australia and Singapore, but like UAE and US are the largest. Yeah.
And what would you say the big unsolved problems or undersolved problems for the diaspora, for our diaspora still?
Correct. So I think there are multiple, if I have to put it in like,
or the ones you've picked to solve.
Sure.
I think that's
so I think we have picked majorly the wealth management part of it. When I say wealth management, that basically means if you look at a global Indian life today, they are managing their own local currency, global currency, which is USD and INR together with all the use cases of, let's say, spending, taking credit, investing and saving across these three currencies. So I think that's a complicated matrix of say 4 cross 3. And what we are trying to do is pick one for now. For example, we are managing their India wealth well. And then once we are double downing on it and own it, I think then we will basically try to solve the overall global wealth management for them. That's how I would position it, so that they can manage all these 4 cross 3 matrices in a single platform in a simplified manner.
And what is the scale of the business right now?
We are close to about $40 million in AUM across 5,000 plus active managed clients, I would put it that way. And yeah, I think growing at a rate of about 15% month on month. So yeah, I think
that's amazing.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Good use.